Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Call. I'm Keely McCormick.
And I'm Malik Jackson. We have a packed show, so let's get started.
President Trump and Kim Jong-un discussed denuclearization at their second historic summit meeting yesterday in North Korea. They talked about the steps North Korea must take to abandon its nuclear weapons program and bring peace in the Korean Peninsula. And Trump tweeted yesterday that he was looking forward to meeting again today, but day two did not go very well. President Trump left early when they reached no agreement, and Kim Jong-un insisted that sanctions be lifted on his country. Trump explained that he is in no rush because doing the right deal is the most important.
And moving along, yesterday was a big day. Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former personal lawyer, sat in front of the House Oversight Committee, giving hours of compelling testimony. CNN's Omar Jimenez is on Capitol Hill with more.
What you take away from today's hearing is going to come down to one thing, and that is credibility. And depending on what side of the political aisle the questioner was on, seemed to determine whether Michael Cohen was deemed credible or not. Regardless of that, this was a hearing that lasted more than 7 hours. It was one where we learned new information. It was one that was contentious at times, but it was also one where this is probably the last time we are going to hear from Michael Cohen in such a high-profile setting.
I am not protecting Mr. Trump anymore.
President Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, will go to prison in May for 3 years. But as today's testimony proves, he's not going quietly.
He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
Cohen presenting a copy of a $35,000 check as evidence Trump directed hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels.
The President of the United States thus wrote a personal check for the payment of hush money as part of a criminal scheme.
Cohen says he believes then-candidate Trump also knew WikiLeaks would release emails damaging to Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign.
Mr. Trump knew from Roger Stone in advance about the WikiLeaks drop of emails.
Republicans, however, questioning Cohen's credibility. The now disbarred lawyer pleaded guilty to tax crimes, campaign finance violations, and lying to Congress.
The first announced witness for the 116th Congress is a guy who is going to prison in 2 months for lying to Congress.
The explosive hearing ending with an emotional Cohen.
This is a part of your destiny. And hopefully, this portion of your destiny will lead to a better Michael Cohen, a better Donald Trump, a better United States of America.
And Congressman Elijah Cummings later added that he does believe Michael Cohen in this. Now, just because this hearing is over does not mean it's the end of a week in Washington for Michael Cohen. Tuesday, he sat down with the Senate Intelligence Committee for more than 9 hours behind closed door. Wednesday, he was in front of the House Oversight Committee publicly for more than 7 hours, as we saw. And Thursday, he's going to be in front of the House Intelligence Committee, where Chairman Adam Schiff says they will be working to corroborate some of the claims made today. Reporting from Capitol Hill, I'm Omar Jimenez.
Oversight Committee Chairman Elijah Cummings says it appears Trump committed a crime while in office.
Do you believe that the president committed a crime while in office?
Based on what, looking at the checks and listening to Mr. Cohen, it appears that he did.
Now, Donald Trump, as mentioned before, was in Vietnam meeting with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un, but that didn't stop him from commenting on the hearing. Take a look.
I tried to watch as much as I could. I wasn't able to watch too much because I've been a little bit busy. But I think having a fake hearing like that and having it in the middle of this very important summit is really a terrible thing. They could have made it 2 days later or next week, and it would have been even better. They would have had more time. But having it during this very important summit is sort of incredible. And he lied a lot, but it was very interesting because he didn't lie about one thing. He said, no collusion with the Russian hoax. And I said, I wonder why he didn't just lie about that too, like he did about everything else.
And former NBA star Mike Bibby is under investigations for allegations of sexual abuse and stalking. He was coaching basketball at an Arizona high school when one of the teachers filed a restraining order against him. The injunction claims an ongoing police investigation into alleged sexual abuse and stalking, and according to ABC, Bibby refused to comment as of Wednesday morning. On Monday, the school notified Bibby that until the end of the investigation, he is no longer eligible to coach basketball. And we'll keep you updated on the details as that investigation continues.
The House of Representatives voted earlier this week in the affirmative to block President Trump's national emergency, which would appropriate funds to build a border wall. In doing so, it saw 10 Republican representatives vote with the Democrats. The Senate has 18 days after that to vote on the bill by law. 2 Republican senators have already said they will vote to block the declaration. Republican Senator and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's unsure if the action is legal. They have yet to announce the exact date for that vote.
And the United States Methodist Church came to a decision that could split them over LGBTQ membership policies. The church voted to continue their ban on LGBTQ members and same-sex marriage with a 53 to 47% vote. Some leaders are talking about leaving to create a new alliance of gay-friendly churches. This could potentially split the nation's second largest Protestant church.
That'll be a big story we'll be following right here. Authorities in Alabama say more than 50 people were hospitalized after a chemical spill at a water treatment plant. After 2 chemicals were accidentally mixed together. There were only 15 originally taken to the hospital, but out of precaution, more of those workers at the plant were taken to the local hospital. Officials say the water was never in any danger and residents can continue drinking the water now.
And Leslie McCrae Dowless, the man at the center of election fraud in North Carolina's 9th District, has been charged with multiple felonies, including obstruction of justice and illegal possession of an absentee ballot. Investigators say Dowless tampered with at least 500 ballots in a race that was decided by less than 1,000 votes. Dowless was a stagist for Mark Harris, the Republican running for the seat. Election officials have called for a re-election to get a legitimate winner. Harris says he will not run for the seat due to health concerns.
He had, according to his people, he said 2 strokes in January, so real health concerns there. 2 nuclear powers in a dispute over a territory that's where Pakistan and India stand, and experts say they don't expect it to end anytime soon. Here is Nikhil Kumar in India.
Pakistan says its Air Force shot down 2 Indian fighter jets over the disputed border region of Kashmir Wednesday in a significant escalation of the crisis between the 2 nuclear-armed powers. India confirmed the loss of 1 plane and said it shot down a Pakistani jet as it responded to the incident. The confrontation came a day after India said it launched airstrikes in Pakistan territory in what was the first such incursion by Indian Air Force planes since the India-Pakistan War of 1971. Now, Pakistan initially claimed it had arrested 2 Indian pilots, but later revised that to say that only 1 was in its custody. Pakistan, in fact, released a video of what it said was an Indian Air Force pilot in custody following the downing of an Indian fighter jet in Pakistani airspace. In response, India summoned the Pakistani diplomat to express objection to what it says is, quote, an unprovoked act of aggression by Pakistan. It also protested against Pakistan's, quote, vulgar display of an injured personnel of the Indian Air Force. It's all driven up the geopolitical temperature on the Indian subcontinent. Ever since the departure of the colonial British in 1947, India and Pakistan have fought 3 wars over Kashmir, a region both of them claim in its entirety. They've had numerous smaller skirmishes. The biggest concern whenever hostilities rise is about how things might end. It's what makes Wednesday's escalation so worrying. Worrying for India, for Pakistan, and given that both countries possess nuclear weapons, the world. Nikhil Kumar, New Delhi.
And thanks, Nikhil, for that report.
Former Trump staffer Alva Johnson filed a lawsuit Monday claiming then-candidate Donald Trump kissed her without consent. Johnson has also filed a lawsuit for what she calls unequal pay. The White House responded firmly denying the allegations. As we get more information, we will be sure to bring it right to you.
That's an explosive story right there, so we will make sure to follow that. She actually had an interview this week, and she says that she will fight this until she gets justice. So we will keep you updated on that, but of course this is Wake Up Call, so we have so much more to bring you. Stay tuned.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back to Wake Up Call. Now, Malik, what time is it?
It's time for Weekend Review, so let's get started. First, singer R. Kelly turned himself in last Friday for charges dealing with sexual abuse. The singer has pled not guilty. His bond was set for $1 million, meaning he would only need to pay $100,000 of that to be released. His attorneys first claimed he couldn't afford that. Despite the claim, the amount was paid and Kelly is out until his next hearing.
And Patriots owner Robert Kraft was officially charged in the prostitution scandal out of Jupiter, Florida. Mr. Kraft has denied any involvement, but authorities say he is on video more than once.
And now to a story we've been following, the case of Jussie Smollett. Fox announced that he would be pulled from the remaining episodes of this season of Empire. So that story continues to go.
That's right. And now we're going to move on and talk about some sports. Former Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Nick Foles will not be franchised by the Eagles, and he will enter free agency. Howie Roseman, the Eagles' executive vice president of football operations, says, quote, "He's a tremendous player, Super Bowl MVP, and someone we feel is a top 15 quarterback in this league." People are now speculating where Foles will go, and USA Today predicted 8 possibilities. Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins, the Washington Redskins, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers, Oakland Raiders, Cincinnati Bengals, or the New York Giants. Malik, where would you like to see him go?
Personally, I could care less because my team, the Kansas City Chiefs, have the best,
That's true.
not even quarterback, the best player in football right now, in Patrick Mahomes. So,
Mahomie.
where would you like to see him go?
I also don't.
The Bears?
Nah,
The
that
Bears?
wasn't one of the 8 options that USA Today predicted. But
Is Mitchell Trubisky, does he have what it takes?
I honestly, now that I live in Kansas, I follow the Chiefs more than the Bears. I get the updates. I'm such a bandwagon fan for the Chiefs, but
well, it's hard not to be.
it
We're
is.
so good. I don't know what to tell you. And as we all know, K-State remains the inferior team in the state of Kansas. The Hawks beat the Wildcats Monday, and our chance at extending the Big 12 streak is still alive. Mitch Lightfoot played a big role in the 64-49 win with 9 points, 5 rebounds, 3 blocked shots, 2 assists, and 1 charge taken on defense. The Jayhawks head to Oklahoma State to play the Cowboys on Saturday. Tip-off is set for 11 a.m.
and that game against K-State was exciting. It was
Yeah.
good to not that at the end we weren't too close. My heart wouldn't have been able to handle that. But
I've been to every single KU basketball game in a working capacity except 2 or 3 since my freshman year. And I would say that's the second loudest I've ever heard it.
Yeah.
It was electric. And what I was telling someone else, I would say 80% of that win, people probably won't believe this, but 80% of that win, in my opinion, I think it was the crowd, because that place was, it was electric, it was crazy. And then they started the game off, and they started with the hum, and that place, from that point on, was just incredible.
I agree, and that's what worries me when we go away, because we're not so good on the road. But I've got faith in our Jayhawks this weekend.
And let's hope that Texas Tech and K-State can lose again.
Yeah.
Let's get another Big 12 championship.
Really, we need it. All right, moving on to some good news. We all go a little crazy for Girl Scout cookies. I know Malik and I do. But I personally would never spend $540 on them. But this South Carolina man did. This man did not buy these cookies with the thought of stocking up, but he did it to get the 2 girls out of the cold weather. Maya and Emerson were selling their cookies outside a store when a man approached them to buy 7 packs of cookies for $40. Shortly after, he returned and said he wanted to buy the entire stock of cookies. And only a few hours after I wrote that story, I found this video. Apparently the hero was involved in drugs, so let's check it out.
It's a photo that's been shared nearly 10,000 times. Two Girl Scouts thanking this man who stopped at a buy low in Malden and bought all of their Girl Scout cookies so the girls wouldn't have to stand in the rain.
That's what I thought at first.
7 News spoke to their cookie manager Tuesday afternoon.
I said, I saw that little girl shivering. Pack up all your cookies. I'm going to take it so y'all can get out of the cold.
But after conducting interviews, 7 News learned the man in the photo, Detrick McGowan, was arrested Tuesday morning by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, or DEA, accused of conspiracy to manufacture and distribute heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl. According to indictments, McGowan allegedly tried to import drugs from Mexico. He's also charged with a count of conspiracy to commit bulk cash smuggling valued at more than $1 million. According to the local DEA, McGowan was taken into custody at his residence in a rural part of Lawrence County, where cash and other assets were seized by U.S. Marshals. A spokesman tells 7 News the arrest was part of a longer-term federal drug investigation that began in September of 2018 and spanned out of state.
So our good news took a little road for the south. I saw the picture in the headlines in ABC and I clicked on it. I was like, interesting, I'm gonna have to add to our icon bearing good news.
I think that's still a good story.
Oh, it's still
That's
very
still
kind of him to get those
That's
girls.
like when, when one of those big national cases happens and something happens to a victim and then they pull up, they got arrested for, doing drugs 10 years ago. I mean, this is what matters. The president, what he did was certainly an amazing act of kindness.
Yeah, and he's got some cookies that are gonna last him a while.
Oh, wow. Well, will he get to eat them is the question.
Yeah, well, we've got more good news for you guys today.
We do, and that'll be after the break because we don't want to just give you everything right now. We'll be right back.
When you shop local in the heart of the city, you support the people that make our community thrive. The money you spend here stays here, in this place we call our home. Lawrence, Kansas, where there's good old-fashioned hometown pride. Eat local, drink local, shop local.
And welcome back, and as promised, more good news about random acts of kindness. Emily Harley experienced one of the worst days of her life. Harley got a call that her son had been shot and was in the hospital. With this information, the worried mother ran out of the door and raced to the hospital. She was relieved to find her son alive and talking. She was still scared, not knowing the intensity of his injuries, but she was thankful he was okay. After her son was released from the hospital, she took out $60 in cash to pay for his medications. When she went to pay, the money was missing. The fragile mother broke down in tears, but the manager approached her and said not to worry about it, but to go take care of her son.
And in an interview after that, she explained that she can't wait to pay it forward back to someone one day.
Well, yeah, love to see those stories.
Yeah. All right, moving on to some weekend plans. Mardi Gras, or also known as Fat Tuesday, is a carnival of events that takes place before Ash Wednesday. It reflects the practice of eating fattening foods before Lent begins. There are parades and parties throughout the U.S., but the biggest one is in New Orleans. A lot of KU students are packing up and going to either New Orleans or St. Louis this weekend to participate in the celebrations. So if you are, be safe and eat some extra King's cake. Look at that King's cake there. I honestly think I've never had it, but I don't think it looks very good. Have you ever had it?
I have had it. I've had it multiple times, and I would say it's pretty good.
Really?
It's pretty good.
So what are your Mardi Gras plans? Are you celebrating Lawrence, heading out to St. Louis, New Orleans?
Well, actually, this weekend my cousin is having a birthday celebration, so I will be attending that and not Mardi Gras.
How old's your cousin?
27.
27?
Yeah.
Exciting. So is that going to be in Kansas City?
Yes, Kansas City. So I'm pretty excited about that. I went to Mardi Gras last year, had a great time. I said I want to go back one day. But I think if I go back to Mardi Gras, I think I would rather do New Orleans.
Yeah. I'm heading out to St. Louis this weekend, but next year I'm planning on going to New Orleans. St. Louis is just, it's close and easy, and it's just a quick 4-hour drive.
But New Orleans is an unbelievable experience.
Yeah. I've never been to New Orleans.
Oh man, you're missing out. I have some family there, so I went there a lot before, but I went there at the beginning of or middle of August for my aunt's wedding, and I tell you what, it's an amazing place, amazing city. The people are nice, but most importantly, the food is good. Food is very, 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 very good.
Ooh, well, I plan to go to New Orleans for senior year Mardi Gras, and then maybe I'll get some of that food. What is...
Well, that's a story that we will follow right here on Wake Up Call. See, because we'll be back here next semester, so let's see if Keely actually goes to New Orleans.
I'll go.
Year. Okay,
Will I see you there?
No, maybe not. That's depending on how the money situation's looking.
Maybe we can bring Wake Up Call to New Orleans.
Live from Mardi Gras.
That would be fun.
Yeah, well, that would be very interesting. I don't know how it would go over. You know.
I think it would go over well. Interviewing some people, some Wake Up Call fans. I'm sure we have a lot in New Orleans.
Hopefully no one's trying to get their beads, though, while we're on air.
Oh, that would just be horribly inappropriate.
Yeah, it would be horribly inappropriate. So do you have any firm plans while you're down there in St. Louis?
Well, Friday night there's a Blues game, so I think we plan on watching that in Ballpark Village. I've heard that that's what the locals do, so we're going to do that, get some dinner, and then Saturday we're going to go to the parade. And then Sunday I will be back in Lawrence for the Spread the Word to End the Word walk, so come check that out. It's down Mass Street. Unless it's freezing, then they're going to move it inside, but that'll be a fun time, and it'll be for a good cause. So.
Well, that's exciting. And also starting this week is Rock Chalk Review.
Yes.
So that is one of KU's biggest fundraisers that they do here. And so if you have the opportunity, it's at the Leaf Center. It actually starts tonight. So if you have time, go there, check that out, and all the proceeds go to a very, very good cause. Of course, we talked about that last year, and it turns out it's a great event. So yeah.
I've actually never been to Rock Chalk Review, but I do plan on going this year. Have you ever been?
I have been once, and I saw some performances. It'll be, it was a great time. I mean, and besides the fact that you're watching all these college kids who put so much hard work and dedication into this, but it's all for a good cause. And a lot of times you see events like this, they do that. So it's good to see that it's all for a good cause, and it's very fun to watch.
I wish that I could make it in Rock Chalk Review, show off my moves.
I don't think I could learn that many moves and keep them all in the right order.
No, I'm not a dancer, not an actor. Not for me. We'll stick to Wake Up Call.
We will do that. For Keely McCormick, I'm Malik Jackson. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you right back here next Thursday at 10 a.m.
Have a great weekend and be safe.